She thought you'd never leave. She believed you'd always be there, no matter how she treated you. But now you're gone. Every moment of silence, every empty text thread, is a constant reminder of the man she lost. This isn't just regret. It's the realization that she'll never find someone like you again. Today, I'll show you exactly why women regret losing high-value men and how you can turn this truth into your greatest strength. This will change how you see yourself forever. Don't miss a second. Section 1. The power of walking away. When a man walks away, it sends a ripple effect through every interaction he's had with that woman. But what exactly is happening here? Let's break it down. First, walking away is a bold declaration of self-respect. Most men are too afraid to do this because they think they'll lose the woman forever. They think that by holding on tighter, by chasing harder, they'll somehow win her back. But here's the truth. Chasing only lowers your value. Walking away says, I'm enough, with or without you. It's not just an action. It's a statement about your worth, and that kind of confidence is magnetic. Second, when you walk away, you force her to confront a reality she didn't expect. She thought she had the upper hand, that you'd always be there no matter what. But now the script has flipped, and she's the one left wondering. This uncertainty is powerful. It creates space for her to feel your absence and question her own actions. Third, walking away disrupts the emotional pattern she's used to. Think about it. Most people operate on autopilot in relationships. She says or does something hurtful, and you react. But when you don't react, when you step back entirely, you break that cycle. Suddenly, she has to think about you in a new light, and that's where the regret begins to grow. Finally, walking away isn't just about her, it's about you. It's about reclaiming your time, energy, and focus. You're no longer pouring yourself into someone who doesn't value you. Instead, you're channeling that energy into your own growth, and that's what makes you truly high value. Remember, walking away isn't the end. It's the beginning of her seeing you in a way she never did before. Section 2. Why women regret losing. High-value men. Regret is a powerful emotion, and it doesn't come out of nowhere. When a woman loses a high-value man, the regret she feels is deep and often irreversible. But why does this happen? First, high-value men are rare. Let's be honest, most men are either too needy, too insecure, or too complacent. A high-value man stands out because he's focused on his purpose, his goals, and his growth. He's not trying to prove his worth to anyone because he already knows his value. When a woman loses a man like this, she's not just losing a partner, she's losing an anchor, a source of inspiration, and someone who challenged her to be better. Second, regret stems from comparison. After losing you, she's going to encounter other men. And here's the thing, those men won't measure up. They won't have your confidence, your ambition, or your ability to stay grounded under pressure. Every time she meets someone new, she'll be reminded of what she had with you and what she let slip away. This comparison isn't something she can control. It's a natural response to losing someone exceptional. Third, high-value men bring emotional stability. In a world full of chaos and uncertainty, that stability is priceless. You weren't just someone she could rely on, you were someone who made her feel safe, understood, and respected. Losing that kind of presence leaves a void that's hard to fill. She may try to replace you, but deep down, she knows it's not the same. Lastly, women regret losing high-value men because of the long-term impact. While most relationships are fleeting, the lessons and memories from being with a high-value man last a lifetime. She'll remember the way you made her feel, the things you taught her, and the version of herself she became when she was with you. That kind of connection isn't easily forgotten, and it's what makes the regret so profound. Section 3. The psychological ripple effect of distance. Distance does something extraordinary. It creates space for her to reflect, and in that space, your value grows exponentially. But let's dive into the psychology behind it. First, distance triggers the scarcity principle. Think about it. When something becomes less available, its perceived value skyrockets. By pulling away, you're no longer easily accessible, and this scarcity makes her think about you constantly. She starts to wonder what you're doing, who you're with, and why you're not chasing her. This curiosity quickly turns into longing, and that longing turns into regret. Second, distance forces her to face her own emotions. When you're always there, she doesn't have to think about how she feels. But when you're gone, she has no choice but to confront the void you left. Behind this void isn't just about missing your presence. It's about realizing how much you added to her life. Third, distance shifts the power dynamic. In most relationships, the person who cares less holds more power. By creating distance, you're showing that you're in control of your emotions and actions. You're not begging for her attention or validation, and that makes you incredibly attractive. It's this shift in power that makes her start to see you in a new light. Finally, distance is a test of her true feelings. If she genuinely values you, the distance will make her realize it. She'll start to appreciate the things she took for granted, and that appreciation will turn into regret. But here's the key. You're not creating distance to manipulate her. You're doing it to prioritize yourself and your growth. The regret she feels is simply a byproduct of you knowing your worth. Section 4. The power of being irreplaceable. To make her regret losing you, you need to understand what makes someone truly irreplaceable. And here's the thing. It's not about money, looks, or status. It's about the emotional imprint you leave behind. First, being irreplaceable starts with integrity. A man who stands by his principles, even when it's inconvenient, is a man who commands respect. Women may not always agree with you, but they'll always remember your consistency and strength. These traits are rare, and when she loses them, she'll struggle to find them elsewhere. Second, emotional intelligence sets you apart. Most men either suppress their emotions or let them control their actions. But a high-value man knows how to navigate his emotions and communicate effectively. This level of emotional maturity creates a deep connection that's hard to replicate. When you're gone, she'll realize how rare it is to find someone who truly understands her. Third, being irreplaceable is about bringing value to her life. This doesn't mean doing everything for her. It means inspiring her to grow, supporting her dreams, and challenging her to be the best version of herself. When she loses you, she's not just losing a partner. She's losing someone who made her life better in ways she didn't fully appreciate until you were gone. Lastly, being irreplaceable is about leaving a legacy. It's about the memories, lessons, and experiences you shared. These are the things that stay with her long after the relationship ends. She may move on, but she'll never forget the impact you had on her life. And that's what makes the regret so powerful. It's not just about losing you, it's about losing the future she could have had with you. Section 5. How to reclaim your power and move forward. Here's the most important part of this entire conversation. Regret should never be your goal. Your goal is to reclaim your power and focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Let me explain. First, stop seeking validation. Too many men base their self-worth on how women perceive them. But the moment you detach from this need, you become unstoppable. You're no longer living to impress anyone. You're living to fulfill your own potential. Second, channel your energy into growth. Whether it's hitting the gym, starting a new project, or mastering a skill, every step you take towards self-improvement increases your value. You're not just proving her wrong, you're proving yourself right. Third, surround yourself with positive influences. The people you spend time with have a massive impact on your mindset and growth. Choose friends, mentors, and communities that challenge and inspire you. This network will elevate you far beyond where you are now. Finally, embrace the mindset of abundance. There are billions of people in the world, and you have endless opportunities to connect, grow, and succeed. By focusing on what you have instead of what you've lost, you shift your perspective and attract more of what you want. Remember, the best revenge isn't making her regret losing you. It's living a life so incredible that her regret doesn't even matter. Section 6. Why absence makes the heart grow fonder. You've probably heard the saying, absence makes the heart grow fonder, but let's dive into why this actually happens. First, absence creates contrast. When you're constantly present, she gets used to having you around. It becomes routine. But when you step away, that absence highlights everything you brought into her life. Suddenly, she notices the small things, your support, your humor, your stability, and how much she misses them. This contrast forces her to reevaluate what she lost. Second, absence heightens emotions. Emotions are often dulled by familiarity. When you're there every day, she may not feel the intensity of her connection to you. But when you're gone, those emotions have room to surface. She'll start reminiscing about the good times and the unique bond you shared, and those memories will amplify her sense of loss. Behind this void isn't just about missing your presence. It's about realizing how much you added to her life. Third, distance shifts the power dynamic. Many women assume they have the upper hand in relationships. When you're always available, it reinforces that belief. But when you step back, it disrupts her sense of control. She starts to wonder if she underestimated you, and that uncertainty is what makes her heart grow fonder. Lastly, absence builds your mystique. People are naturally drawn to what they can't fully understand or predict. When you're not constantly accessible, you become a mystery, and mystery is attractive. She'll start imagining what you're up to, who you're with, and why you're so confident without her. In that imagination, your value multiplies. Section 7. The role of scarcity in relationships. Scarcity is one of the most powerful psychological triggers, and it plays a huge role in relationships. Let's explore how it works. First, people value what's rare. When you're always available, you lose the element of scarcity. But when you become less accessible, when you focus on your goals, your passions, and your personal growth, you create a sense of rarity. She starts to see you as someone who isn't easy to replace, and that realization hits hard. Second, scarcity creates urgency. When something feels abundant, there's no rush to appreciate it. But when it feels like it might be gone forever, people act quickly. By stepping away and prioritizing yourself, you create a scenario where she feels an urgent need to reevaluate her feelings before it's too late. Third, scarcity shifts the balance of attention. When you're always giving her your time and energy, she takes it for granted. But when you pull back, she's forced to shift her focus. She starts thinking about you more because you're no longer readily available. That shift in attention is what drives her regret. Finally, scarcity redefines your worth. Think about diamonds. They're valuable not just because they're beautiful, but because they're rare. By creating scarcity in your relationship, you're sending a message. I'm not just anyone. I'm someone worth pursuing. That message stays with her long after you're gone. Section 8. How to use emotional detachment to your advantage. Emotional detachment isn't about being cold or uncaring. It's about maintaining control over your emotions and actions. Let's break down how this works. First, emotional detachment protects your self-worth. When you're overly invested in someone who doesn't value you, it's easy to lose sight of your own worth. By detaching emotionally, you're setting boundaries and reminding yourself that your value isn't determined by someone else's opinion. Second, detachment creates intrigue. People are naturally drawn to those who seem calm, composed, and unbothered. When you're emotionally detached, you exude a sense of confidence and independence that's incredibly attractive. She'll start wondering why you're so unaffected, and that curiosity will make her think about you more. Third, detachment helps you focus on what matters. Instead of obsessing over her actions or feelings, you're channeling your energy into your own growth, whether it's building your career, improving your health, or pursuing your passions. Emotional detachment allows you to prioritize yourself, and that self-focus is what makes you truly high value. Finally, detachment flips the dynamic. When you're no longer chasing her or seeking her approval, she's forced to reevaluate her position. She'll start to see you as someone who doesn't need her, but chooses to be with her. And that choice is far more powerful than any words you could say. Section 9. Why time is your greatest ally. Time is one of the most underestimated tools in relationships, yet it's one of the most powerful. Let me explain. First, time provides perspective. When you step away, you give her the opportunity to reflect on the relationship without the noise of daily interactions. She starts to see the big picture, the good moments, the things you did for her, and the value you brought into her life. Second, time heals emotional wounds. If there were conflicts or misunderstandings, time allows those negative emotions to fade. As those memories become less intense, the positive aspects of your relationship take center stage, and that's when regret begins to creep in. Third, time creates anticipation. When someone doesn't know what you're doing or how you're feeling, their imagination fills in the gaps. Let's be honest, imagination often makes things seem better than they were. She'll start idealizing you, remembering only the good times and wondering if she made a mistake. Finally, time demonstrates your resilience. By taking time for yourself, you're showing her that you're not desperate or dependent. You're proving that you can thrive on your own, and that kind of strength is magnetic. Time isn't just a waiting game, it's a strategy that works in your favor. Now you know why she'll regret losing you more than you think, and how to use that knowledge to focus on your growth. The power is in your hands.